My name is Stephen Knott. I've lived here for 16 years.
My name's Kathy Parenti. I have lived here 31 years now.
My name is Tim Finan. I've lived in Milford for 30 years.
Well, my name is Dale White. I've lived in this town for 60 plus years, born and raised.
My favorite thing about this community is everybody's nice. It's very diverse. There's lots to do here.
Still has a small town feel.
My favorite thing about the community is the access to all kinds of walking paths, the trails, all the nature and the small shops, as well as anything you need you can get in Milford.
Well, I think my favorite thing about Milford is the community. I mean, it really is a very community-centric town. We have volunteers that virtually run the town. We have beautiful parks. We're on the beautiful oval right here. This is something you don't see too much anywhere anymore. And we just have, it's just the community, the events that we have, the parades, the 4th of July activities, all the hiking trails we have in town. It's a very community-focused town.
Let's see, in the early years it was NCAA. I worked in the concession stand and I was sitting on the bleachers a lot. Later on, when my stepsons got older, I started working for the town in the community development department. And then when my grandkids were born, I started to cut back on my hours and I filled in all over in almost every department in town. And then after that, I just started volunteering and being a trustee, and that takes a lot of time.
My family has a local landscape maintenance and construction company. We work predominantly in the Milford-Amherst area. Take care of a lot of people up and down Elm Street and Nashua Street, and it's great to be able to work in the same town you live in.
Well, I don't work in town, although for years I was a remote worker and I worked in my basement. So I actually have virtually worked in town for quite a while.
So I've worked in town since high school, since 1981. My dad started our business in 1978. I worked with him during high school and then went full-time after high school. So I don't think there's a road or a street in Milford that we haven't worked on. Milford has been a great place to start and run a business.
I like to go to Emerson Park or Keys Field, or just walk a loop from the railroad pond down to the oval to Emerson Park, behind the Boys and Girls Club along the river. There's so many great things to do in Milford, whether you want to go out and get a drink, whether you want to go get something to eat, whether you just want to be outside or go swimming at Keys Field, or see historic buildings like Town Hall or the swinging bridge. We have a dam. There's always something to do in the town.
So I'll say in town, I'm pretty involved in the community. I'm very active in the Milford Rotary Club. I'm active here. I'm a selectman in Milford. I've also been on most committees. I've been on the Recreation Commission, the Planning Board, the Granite Town Media. Pretty much every committee you can think of, I've at least tried it from one time or another. I've been very involved in, when my kids were younger, in the MCAA, the local youth sports organizations. I was a coach and an umpire. I was on their board for many years. I'm also on the board of Share Outreach, which is our community food pantry type place.
The Pumpkin Fest is really fun for the grandkids. We've taken, I think, all of them now at this point, and I have to ride the rides. I'm not a fan, but I do it.
Oh, there's so many of them. There's the Pumpkin Festival is the obvious one that we all love that. I love coming down. I work at it. I'm very involved in the Rotaries part, which is over on the community house lawn. I do a lot for that.
No matter what time of year it is, Milford's always offering something, whether it's music down by Keys Field or the Pumpkin Festival. There's always an activity going on that's community oriented.
geocaching, surprisingly, is around a little bit. So we take the kids, and they always want to go further and further, and then they realize that they have to come back, and that's really a long walk back.
There's always activities going on at Keys Field to take advantage of. The Parks and Rec Association's great. We have a skating rink every winter.
Well, according to my wife, I probably work too much, so I don't take advantage of some of the things that can be done in Milford. I do know Younger. It's got a good athletic fields, and the track in Milford is a nice place to walk. The walking trails, the rail trail, I've actually walked on that, not as much as I should, but I have. But it's got, the other thing that we have in Milford that is really, it's an asset, is the Hampshire Hills. It's a great health and racket club. They provide a good service to the health industry, and that is something that we definitely enjoy. And again, I need to take advantage of it more.
Milford was a great place to grow up because it had everything. It wasn't necessarily huge, but there was always something available for whatever you needed. We have a great commercial area. We have a great industrial area down on the west side.
Where there's so many things for the kids to do, whether it's with the MCAA, with local sports, or the schools. The schools are great from like community outreach kind of thing. We were always very involved in school sports, school activities, the band, Destination Imagination, it was always a big thing. But there's so many things for the kids to do.
One of the things I loved about raising our family here is, again, back to it's a small town feel. When I was probably in high school, I don't know if there was maybe 12,000 people in '81, right in that area. Now I think it's over 16,000. But it has a good school system, and that was one of the reasons why we were fortunate to be able to raise our children here. Also, it's just because of Milford's proximity to other cities, and you're an hour to the beach, you're an hour to the mountains, you're an hour to the lakes, you're less than an hour to the hills and lakes, and that just is a very unique position to have. And with that said, I just think it's a wonderful place to raise a family.
All four of my kids, they're all grown and they're gone, but they all come back all the time. They come back and they bring their friends from wherever they're living now, because they love to come back to Milford. They love just the things that go on here on the Oval. Whether it's the breakfast places or the bars and the restaurants. There's just so much to do here in town. And in addition to that, all of the trail systems, there's massive trail systems throughout town. So you can do everything from getting breakfast on the Oval to going on a 3-hour hike, all without leaving town.
This is my Milford.
What's
your
Milford? What is your Milford?